Warning, incoming dad joke. Warning, incoming dad joke.
Hey guys, the wheel just fell off my wagon.
That's a real drag.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
It looks like a pink nightmare.
Christmas has a Yule log. Not a log, I don't have a log, but it's...
All that I have, all that I've learned, everything I feel, all this and more I bequeath you, my son.
Your father was Frankenstein, and your mother was the Lightning.
We named the dog Indiana.
I am your father.
Hello and welcome to another action-packed episode of Three Geeky Dads, the show featuring dads who, instead of getting to the chopper, went for the Whopper with cheese. I am Mark.
I'm Derek.
You're not Derek.
I'm Brian.
You imposter. And you're the third dad tonight.
I'm Tito.
That's right. Derek, unfortunately, is unable to join us. He is away, but he will be back again next week.
He's here in spirit.
He is here in spirit, and he's laughing at my clever jokes in this intro. I can hear him. Tonight we'll be looking at the latest installment in the Predator series, the hit movie Prey, which is in fact a prequel to the whole Predator story and has managed to gain high praise by fans of the franchise. But before we dig into our own prey, which is usually something of the buffalo persuasion, we have, as always, a yummy appetizer to start us off. And to that, I turn things over to our own chef of the stars, Brian.
Hi.
What we need is a few good taters. What's taters, precious? What's taters, huh? Potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
All right, so when one thinks of the word prequel, you're probably immediately thinking of Star Wars and its prequel series. And it's not surprising because Star Wars pretty much popularized the word prequel. However, for the most part, those movies are not very good. We, on the other hand, want to take a look at some prequel movies that we think are very good. So in honor of tonight's episode, where, as Mark said, we will be taking a look at Prey, a particularly good Predator prequel, here are some of our picks for our favorite prequel films.
That's good.
Who's starting? You want to start?
Yeah, I'll start. All right.
You're starting, okay.
I'm actually going with Bumblebee from 2018. A lot of people don't
This
like...
isn't a fake out, right?
No, this is not a fake out.
I could go with Bumblebee, but
I'm surprised you didn't pick out my fake out in the thing. But, prequels, people think of Star Wars, but we're...
Oh, no, that can't be your favorite prequels.
It's not, actually. The only good one I liked out of the prequels was Revenge of the Sith.
So did I. Yeah, I like that one, too.
Yeah.
Continue, please.
Okay, so I'm going with Bumblebee. A lot of people don't like the Transformers movies, myself included. But Bumblebee, I thought, turned out pretty damn good. Maybe it's because Michael Bay didn't direct it. Maybe it's because it stars Haley Steinfeld. She is far and away a much better leading actor than Shia LaBeouf is. It was smaller in scope, more focused on character development, and you could actually make out what was happening in the action sequences. Yet it still set up the conflict between the Decepticons and the Autobots that dominated the previous films. All in all, I thought it was superior to the Michael Bay directed movies that came before, and it's actually the only one that I will watch multiple times, and I will definitely watch it again.
It's good.
Yeah.
I've seen it, yeah.
I like it. It's got a lot of heart.
It's awesome. The Cybertron stuff, when
Yeah,
you see
the
them
very
on, you're
beginning.
like, oh, they look exactly like they're supposed to look. Every
Right.
single one of them.
Yep.
They're on Cybertron. You see Optimus Prime looks like Optimus Prime. Starscream looks like Starscream. In their, Cybertronian
Forms.
Yeah. But they still look like the animated characters. And it is fun. She's great.
She is.
John Cena's in it. He's pretty good.
Yep. It's a great cast.
Bumblebee is, in fact, a Volkswagen Bug.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a fun movie.
It is. Like I said, it's got a lot of heart. It's got a lot of character development. You really feel for Haley's character. I forget her character's name in the movie, but all the shit that she's going through with the loss of her dad, and then wanting to fix up the car that he left for her, but she can't, and so she gets Bumblebee as a sort of birthday present from the junkyard that she kind of gets all her parts from, and forms a really strong bond with Bumblebee after she discovers what he actually is, and he brings a lot out of her too.
Yeah,
they just have a great dynamic together for one being an animated character.
Yeah, they still go with that like he speaks through the radio thing.
Right, and I like that.
But it works.
Yeah,
it still works.
it works
in that,
really
in
well.
that series.
Yeah.
I also like the like she's the outcast, but it's like, dude, if she was
Yeah, I know.
If I went to her school,
Yeah,
I would
she would
please
not
be
be
my
the
friend.
outcast.
Haley
Exactly.
Steinfeld.
Yeah.
We're friends. Can we be okay, we're friends. Like I'll be at your house later. We're gonna hang out. At whatever capacity
Like
that
it or
is.
not.
Uh-huh.
And maybe something will happen. Maybe probably
Kiddo's
not. but
coming.
I'll take you swimming.
I'll be over. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'll be there. No one wants to be your friend. Fuck out of here.
Nah.
I love it.
I still
Fun
haven't
movie, though.
seen it.
Yeah.
I
It's
a
need
fun-
to see
it's
this.
Really?
fun.
You haven't
Yeah,
seen
no,
it?
I will.
I will let you borrow it.
All right, cool.
I think I have it on
I
Blu-ray.
wasn't a huge Transformers fan.
No, I wasn't either.
I
And I
like the
actually own this
cartoon,
one on
but-
Blu-ray.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
That first one, I was so excited for it that I think just the excitement of seeing it makes me like it. But I didn't like any other one after that.
Yeah.
No.
Until Bumblebee came out, and I feel like they kind of stalled because they were supposed to keep doing more after that. And
Yeah.
I don't think anything's happened.
No.
It was a good kind of
Yeah.
bringing it back.
Yeah. Like a soft reboot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And a prequel all in one.
My prequel is technically not a prequel until they added a character to the movie to make it a prequel. Mine is Fast 5.
Oh, nice.
So up until 3, where you have the Han character introduced, where he dies, and then they bring him back for 5, and then you realize it's all taking place before. So
Yeah.
like the next 3 movies technically all take place before part 3.
Right.
And I think is the best. You know, it's one of those like Fast and the Furious had to walk so Fast 5 could fly kind of thing. Like, I like the first one a lot. But this movie is phenomenal. They got Dwayne Johnson, and they were like, boom, stick him in there. He is what our buddy Steve says, movie Viagra.
He is.
Like, he just,
Yeah.
it's just a fucking shot of adrenaline to that movie.
He will fix your franchise.
Yeah, and they bring every single character you can think of back, including one of the dead ones. And it's just this super fun, really over the top. It's like just over the top enough. Like they're not in space yet.
No.
They're just like testing the waters a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's one that I always go back. I'm
Yeah.
always in the mood to see that movie.
Yeah, I agree. And I had just recently rewatched all of them too, thanks to Derek and his Voodoo account, because he's got them all on there. And I went back and I watched them all in order,
Yeah.
chronologically.
Yeah.
And I really liked 5. And I remember seeing 5 before and it being a standout then. And again, it was a standout rewatching them all. Even the ones that I hadn't seen, the more recent ones, but I think I maybe only watched up to like 6, previously.
Yeah.
But now, thanks to the magic of streaming, I've caught up. I've seen them all.
Yeah, surprisingly,
All the way up to
like
9.
the Brian character passing really like hurts the series. But I have seen them all. But I was like, I didn't really care about those movies at all. And then somebody's like, "You ever see Fast 5?" And I was like, "No." And they were like, "The Rock's in it." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then I was like, "Oh, I love this franchise again.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and watch 4, which I never had." And then I kept watching every single one after that. I'm still waiting for The Rock to come back. But that's my guy.
Maybe he and Vin Diesel will
Yeah.
kiss and make up.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah, they hate each other, right?
I
Yeah.
think they do.
They're not
Vin Diesel is like an egomaniac.
Yeah.
Vin Diesel?
Yeah, it's weird, I guess.
I heard they both are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I imagine so.
Yeah, but
They-
the Rock's earned it. Vin Diesel hasn't.
No.
I'm sorry, he hasn't.
I think like one of the arguments was the Rock said that at some point, or Vin Diesel said he was trying to challenge The Rock as an actor to get the best out of him. It's like, dude, who the fuck do you think you are, De Niro?
Yeah.
What? You can barely say the lines. You're challenging other actors to be better actors. I was like,
I know.
that's insane. Right, he's probably making millions of dollars. saying
Yeah.
that
With one line.
That's his best performance
But yeah,
for me.
Yeah.
yeah.
Not a big Vin
That and the
Diesel
Iron
fan.
Giant.
Oh, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah, there you
I always
go.
forget that's
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Superman.
Yeah, just keep it nice and
Yeah.
nice and simple for
Yeah, stick to
fucking
voice
Vin
work.
Diesel.
Yeah.
He's more likable that way. So I went in kind of a different direction. There is a movie made on this, but it's known better as a comic book. I'm going Batman Year One. In terms of thinking of prequel, there is no greater story to me, and I really wish Derek was here because I'm sure he would. If he had not picked this, he would have a lot to say about it. Batman Year One is, I want to say, the first prequel comic I've ever read because I got into comics, with DC comics especially, fairly late, and I had read Dark Knight Returns and Batman Year One in the hardcover novelization that has all of them in order. And I remember coming home from a plane on Pittsburgh and reading it on a flight. And I was unlike any Batman story I ever read, because every Batman story I had read was Batman in the present.
Yeah.
This was the first time I had seen young Bruce Wayne and Captain Gordon, before he was commissioner, coming in from Chicago, the problems he had with the department and Flash and Commissioner Loeb and all the construction. It's actually a better Commissioner Gordon story than it is Batman story. But even if you look at it as a prequel for Commissioner Gordon, this is one hell of a story. And thankfully, the animated movie does it justice.
Yeah.
So I feel I can include it because it's such a good movie. It really nails the book to a T, I think.
Yeah.
Taking the best elements from that book and translating it well to the screen.
I would say that Dark Knight, the animated film, those movies that they did outside of like that animated DC universe that they created are some of the best movies.
Agreed.
Like standalone film, like animated films.
Yeah, up until The Long Halloween, they were my favorite standalone DC films, and I still think I like them slightly better, even though I love The Long Halloween.
Yeah.
But this is good. I mean, it made me a Frank Miller fan. I had never read a Batman book with writing like that.
Yeah.
It just had that noir feel.
Who is it? You're not a John Romita Jr.
I'm not a
fan?
John Romita Jr. fan.
I feel like their styles are like fairly like
Similar?
choppy in that.
Yeah, I mean,
not as boxy, but still
probably,
kind of.
yeah,
like
no,
Frank
I'm
Miller
sure
still has a bit of a boxy style to him.
if you see that, you see that. You're not wrong. It's just for some reason I can tolerate Frank. Well, see, the thing is, Frank
Or can you forgive
Miller
Frank
drew
Miller?
more conventional at Marvel, and he was really good. And then he just kind of went his own route.
Yeah.
And
It's one of
I
those,
like
I can
it.
do this, but I'd rather try my own thing.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
And I like it,
That's
but
fair.
it's not for everybody. Derek doesn't like it, and I can't blame him because not everybody does like that art style.
Yeah.
But story wise, I still think he's a great. He's gone off the path for a little while, but I still think he's one of the best writers. And Batman Year One's one of his best works,
Yeah.
written works, if you will.
He's earned some leeway.
Yeah.
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 Well, it's just the way he just recreated. I don't want to go on a tirade on Batman.
Yeah.
We do this all the time, but
Don't you?
I do. I do. And if I don't, Derek does. I'm taking the place of Derek tonight. Sorry, buddy.
So your one is streaming on HBO Max,
It
is it
is.
not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all those are on there.
Yeah.
Have you seen it yet?
I haven't. No,
It's really
actually,
good.
it's in my list. I've just got to get around to watching
Yeah.
it.
And I mean,
so many things to watch.
And
That's the
movies have
problem.
adapted from the Batman kind of did it. Batman Begins took a lot from it,
Yeah.
which is probably why, though I'm not a huge fan of the Nolan trilogy, I do like Batman Begins, and I feel like that is a good, solid Batman
Sure.
story because it takes so much from Year One. But the animated movie is the way to go, I think.
Very good.
Good
Yeah.
pick. Good pick. Good picks all around.
I don't ever run her up, but Jay from the comic book store, because I'm always
Which
there.
comic book store?
Rubber Chicken Comics
And
in
they are?
Bellingham, Massachusetts, for all your comic needs. They publish a great book called Werewolf with a Chainsaw.
Yes, they do.
Buy it and
Among-
read it,
among
or don't
many
read
others.
it. Just use it, whatever. He said Temple of Doom. He's a huge Indiana Jones fan.
Okay.
And I
Yeah.
forget Temple of Doom is a prequel.
Yeah.
I always forget.
Yeah, it does come
Yeah.
first.
I almost went there because it's a personal favorite of mine, but I know it's got its
Issues.
people that it's got its
Yeah.
issues and people fucking hate that movie.
I love
Yeah.
that movie. I don't, I'm
It's my
finding
least
more
favorite
and
of the
more
original
people that like
trilogy.
it.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
least
Yeah.
favorite, but I'll still watch it.
Don't hate it, but I do
Yeah.
like the Raiders of the Lost Ark and the Last Crusade better.
Well, it's got some good stuff. It's just
It does.
him and Willie.
Yeah, they
it's
just
awful.
yeah
Willie's to Kate Capshaw is just
yeah. Coming right after seeing Indy and Marion together, and
Totally.
then you've got
Yeah.
him and Willie together.
Totally.
It's just too jarring.
yeah.
I'll say that's a movie that I find myself in the mood for.
Yeah.
Like, I want to
Yeah.
watch Indiana Jones. I want to watch Temple of Doom. I wanna
Nice
watch Temple of
Sunday
Doom right now.
afternoon. Got
Yeah.
nothing else to do. Sure. And then you got to watch Last Crusade because you just have to. Because you can't leave it on Temple of Doom. You got to know Indy goes forward. And
No, I can.
can you?
Yeah, because I watched Temple of Doom I watched Last Crusade more than any of them. Like that's like I could fall asleep to that movie. Like I just throw it on at night and watch it for like a few days, finish it in a few days after I fall asleep.
10-minute snippets.
Yeah, but like Temple of Doom would be like Saturday. It's like 2:00 in the afternoon. It's like, oh, I'm gonna throw on Temple of Doom
And then fall asleep.
and then fall.
Yeah,
asleep.
take a nap. That's what dads do. They
Yeah.
put in their favorite movie and they take cat naps.
Get in the recliner.
That's right. Make their dad noises and talk about all the work they need to do.
Talk about the
around
good old
house.
days.
Yeah, talk about the good old days
Yeah,
in the 80s. All right, good appetizers. Nice job. Ready for the main course?
We are ready.
Let's do it.
I want a hamburger. No, a cheeseburger. I want a hot dog. I want a milkshake. I want potato chips. You'll get nothing.
What happened?
He's going, the dinner's in the oven.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That was such a good episode last week, by the way. We got a lot of compliments.
We did,
on that one.
actually.
Great
Yeah,
idea.
awesome. That was
awesome
fun.
idea
That was
with
fun.
the list. We got to do more
Yeah.
of those.
fun.
And we are.
Yep.
Hey, if you're listening out there, give us some ideas for more compare and contrast episodes.
Yeah. And thank you,
love to
Tito,
hear
too,
'em.
for coming
Yeah.
up with those great questions.
Yeah, my pleasure.
See, I knew it was a good idea bringing you on.
I appreciate.
The other
yeah.
guys had qualms about
They
it.
were like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. I'm still on the fence.
He can't. He can barely get through the dad joke. As an idiot.
All that love for Val
The
Kilmer. something's wrong.
number
Yeah.
3.
The number 3.
Well, I brought him on. Despite not liking Alligator, I brought him on anyway. You're welcome. Everybody shut up now. The Predator movies make up a franchise that seem to have mixed reviews from movie buffs. While the first film has been hailed a classic by not just genre fans, but overall mainstream audiences, its sequels, reboots, and crossovers with Aliens seem to have fans divided. Some love Predator 2, while others don't. Some thought Predators and The Predator were commendable reboots. Others did not. Some thought AVP, Alien vs. Predator, was good, while others didn't. And no one could see what the hell was going on in Alien vs. Predator Requiem because the movie was too dark, so no one says much about that at all. With the latest installment, though, Prey takes the Predator franchise in a different direction. Backwards. We get to see the first hunt from the alien version of Alan Quartermain as the monster faces off against a young Native American woman who has set out to be a great hunter and is given the ultimate test of skill and endurance when she is matched with the ultimate enemy. Besides being the first Predator movie to take place solely in the past, it also features the first solo battle between it and a woman. Yes, there have been women in other Predator movies, but usually in supporting character roles, or even if they are the main protagonist, they're often surrounded by a team of people. With Prey, however, it's mano a mano, with a young warrior who rises above ridicule and doubt from her tribe and uses not only her skills but her smarts to win the title of a worthy match for the infamous alien hunter. So how does it stack up with the other films? Is it just as good as the first? That's what we're talking about tonight. So, gentlemen, opening thoughts about Prey. Who would like to start?
You want to go?
Yeah, I'll go. I liked it a lot.
Kick it off.
I thought it was a great movie. I thought it was like gorgeously shot for one thing. And after watching it, I'm like kind of like scratching my head as to why it was only released on a streaming service
Oh, they're kicking
and not
themselves.
released in the movie theater, because this was a movie that I think really deserved to be seen on the biggest screen possible. It was just the setting. It was just so, like I said, gorgeously shot. And it was just a great movie. I thought, what's her name? Amber Midthunder. She was wonderful. I don't think I've ever seen her in anything before.
So she was. You guys never watched Legion, right?
No.
No.
So it was that X-Men.
I know of it. I
spin-off,
think
and
Kathy and I started watching it, but we never really finished it.
she plays a character named Leslie.
That was about 10 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Yeah,
who,
yeah.
Who their power is, it's a older man and a younger woman, and they're both named Leslie.
Okay.
And she comes out of Leslie when he's in trouble.
Oh.
She's basically just a straight up badass who beats the shit out of people.
No kidding.
And he is this scientist. And when she's done fighting and she's tired of being around people, she goes back inside Leslie and he takes care of her when she needs it. But yeah, she was really great in that show.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's the only other thing I've ever seen her in. This
Huh.
is kind of, yeah.
She must have been young in that one then. Like I said, that was like 10 years ago, right? Legion?
Yeah, but she looks exactly the same.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I
Go
think she's
figure.
maybe she's like 19, 20
I'll have to look.
at that point.
'Cause I've got...
Maybe it was more recent.
Can't check.
But yeah, she's not. She looks exactly the same. But she was great on that show. She's great in this movie.
No. It's just I thought the action sequences were great. I liked what they're calling the feral predator.
Yeah.
And how he's supposed to be the first predator to come to Earth, and it's why he's like seen like killing like little things at first.
Because he's trying to find out.
He's trying to figure out
the toughest thing on
exactly.
Earth is.
He's working his way up,
Yeah.
and then he discovers the Native Americans, and it just goes off the rails after that, and it just becomes a wild ride. And seeing Amber Midthunder, what was her character's name?
Naru.
Naru.
Yeah.
Naru.
Naru.
Yeah.
Naru.
And her coming into her own, like Mark said, she was kind of the outcast. She wanted to be, just one of the boys, so to speak, and go off and be a hunter. And they were all ridiculing her for it. And then at the end, she was the one that brought the, spoiler alert, the predator's head back to the tribe and said, "Look what I did."
Yeah.
It was just a great movie, and I've watched it twice already. And I think I want to watch it in
the Comanche version.
I want to watch the Comanche
I've been thinking
version.
about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah,
there's a version shot where it's all in Comanche.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, yep.
I'd give
now
that a
now
try.
that I've seen the English and I know what's going. Not that you really need to know what I think the feeling comes across.
Yeah.
What's going
similar
on
with
even
like
without
the French actors,
right?
Or the French dialogue. You don't know what they're talking about.
There were no subtitles.
But
exactly.
you get the idea.
You got the idea. Exactly. Yep.
And there's only talking when there needs to be talking in this movie. There isn't like so much dialogue because it is like a lot of it her alone, her trying to be a hunter, her interacting with the predator,
or with the dog, even.
or with the dog.
Yeah, which was great.
This is a fucking fun ass movie. It really is. I was very excited when I saw the trailer. I'm always excited for Predator anything, and I think it's one of those things where like the Shane Black one didn't do that great.
No,
I don't think the Rodriguez one did that well. So it's almost like a throwaway. I wonder for them if they're like, yeah, let this guy make his movie. We'll throw it out on Hulu. We need original programming, and they've been doing original films. I've seen a couple. They're not that great. So I think it's kind of like a throwaway. I don't know that they realized
what they had,
and what got me excited about this being on Hulu was like, oh, this is technically Disney.
Right.
So they're not afraid to do stuff like this. Like, make that movie. We'll throw it through Hulu, and then people will kind of forget that it is Disney, and that wholesome idea of Disney kind of fades to the background. So that got me excited also.
Yeah.
She's a great hero, great actress. Her brother is really, really fantastic in this movie also.
I thought they all did a great job.
Yeah.
Every actor, even the French trappers,
that
you loved to hate them. And they were only on screen for 10 minutes?
Yeah. And a lot of the action is so much fun, and like it flirts with like that unbelievable, but that's the kind of action I want to see with like the tomahawk with the rope on it. It's like,
and I love how they called her out on it too. It's like, oh, you need a leash for your weapon.
And it probably doesn't work in the real world.
No, it probably wouldn't.
That's so fucking cool, man. It's so cool.
And she figured out how to do that.
It's so cool. And there's so many like setups to things, callbacks to other films, or something you think is, oh, I know where that's going to go.
Yeah.
And it goes a completely different way.
When her brother says, if it bleeds, we can kill it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, Dutch said that. He's going to say that in the future.
I had a feeling someone was going to bring something.
Yeah.
Either that line or I didn't.
Even
I didn't think the motherfucker.
That's right.
Come on part. But I had a feeling someone was going to say, well.
Yeah, you're an ugly motherfucker.
I don't think that's going to fit well with that.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, but if it please,
Yeah, but her figuring out like hiding in the mud and it can't, it foils his infrared vision.
Great, I think it seems like there's a lot of pushback these days. I think for the strong female character, and it doesn't feel forced to me at all. It creates a really interesting story because she's like. Even the Predator doesn't think she's a threat.
No.
Like, he has multiple opportunities to dispatch her. And
he looks at her and he's like,
yeah, nobody thinks she's a threat.
Yeah.
And that makes for, I think, a more interesting story, and it allows, like, development in the story. Tell us what you think, Mark.
So, the reason I love the original Predator so much, and not really many of the sequels as much, though I have a soft spot for Predator 2, but that's more goofy than anything, is that the characters in Predator I could watch in a movie without the Predator. If the Predator wasn't in that film and they ended up going on that mission they thought they were going on, I could totally watch that movie because every one of those characters is engaging in one way or another. And you don't spend a lot of time with them, but you remember them. You remember, excuse me, you remember Jesse Ventura, you remember Bill Duke, remember the thing with the razor, you remember Ventura's line, you know, with, this stuff will make you a sexual tyrannosaur like me. And that is why that movie, for me, always works because those characters are fun to watch.
Even Shane Black, who has like 2 lines.
He's the joke.
He tells
guy.
the two
he
jokes.
Tells the two jokes,
and he just likes telling jokes to Billy to
Yeah.
see if he can make him laugh. Even there, you can see like there's some personality between the two of them.
Yeah, for a short
Him
amount
and
of
him.
time, there is a strong camaraderie that
There is.
I would love to see more of. I would love to
Exactly.
see a war movie with these characters.
That would be a good prequel to have like that platoon in another situation before they got
Absolutely.
wiped out by the Predator.
And I would totally watch that.
Because they did have a great chemistry together, all of those actors.
Absolutely. And this movie did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I could watch a movie with this Naru. Just the story about her proving to the tribe that she could become a great hunter. If this were just that movie and no Predator, I would still watch it and I would still find it very compelling because it's a great story. She's an awesome character and an excellent actor. And, you know, the Predator is just kind of a bonus thing for both of those films, really. So nothing will ever replace Predator for me, but this one comes extremely damn close. I think it's a very solid flick. I like how this time around it's not just a slugfest. She uses her brains. You know, she's honing in her skills as a hunter physically, but she's
sizing up.
tiny.
She's sizing up her
Right.
opponent.
Yeah, and
You
a
know, the
lot of
whole
and a lot
time.
of things that a lot of guys have problems with these action stars. Like these women are thin; they're thin as twigs, and they take down guys like 5 times their size with little to no effort, and they don't buy into that. But you can buy into this because she's using her brains.
Yeah.
She realizes it's tough to be a match for him physically.
Yeah.
She's smarter than him. She figures out how to deceive him, and that to me is brilliant. That's awesome.
There's a lot of setup for that too, with like
yeah.
her brother and the other people in the tribe. Of like, you're taking too long to shoot that arrow. I'm just going to kill this.
Oh,
bird
yeah,
really
yeah.
quickly." 'Cause
And then
there's-
she's like, well, now you have to walk all the way over there
Yeah,
to get
I
it.
love that.
I was
Yeah.
waiting for it to
Right.
circle back.
right,
Yeah.
because her reflexes are maybe not as good with
Yeah.
shooting the arrow, or I'm throwing this tomahawk, I'm missing the rabbits, and they're all running away. What can I do to make this easier for myself? And that's kind of the film. It's her developing her skills,
Yeah.
and then including things she already knows that they can't do with this herb that heals or drops your body temperature.
The orange flower.
Right.
Yeah.
Like she has some understanding of these other things that they don't, which allows her to join the group. But then she becomes like, an important part. They need her. If somebody gets hurt, she has got to help them. A lot of fun. Do you think, let's say you were like 18 right now and you saw this movie and you had never seen the original, but you had seen, let's say, the last 2 Predator movies, and then you saw the original after this, do you think you would think this was the best Predator movie ever made?
It's possible. I wouldn't just
Given that scenario?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, it would depend on how. I mean, it depends on variables like am I a huge Arnold Schwarzenegger fan in general, which I am. I'm always a fan.
Do you
of
think
the
that movie helped you
men
though,
and-
in your appreciation of Arnold Schwarzenegger though?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
He's fucking awesome in that movie.
Yeah, and I think that or Kindergarten Cop was the first Arnold Schwarzenegger movie I saw.
Because I'm like borderline like maybe this is the best Predator movie I've ever seen.
I wouldn't argue with you if you said you did.
But I can't because I grew up watching Arnold Schwarzenegger and I fucking love that
Yeah,
movie.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
more of a
Great.
nostalgia thing than anything else. You never.
I know it's a fucking
didn't.
badass movie too, though.
True,
So it's like
true.
it's tough to.
But you're not going to get the same feel. As good as this movie's awesome, I don't think you're going to get you wouldn't get the same. If you grew up loving the first one,
Yeah.
you're not going to have the same kind of reaction to it
No.
that you are to the first. You're not going to have that kind of nostalgia
There's no catching lightning in a bottle
for
twice.
anything.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
But this one comes damn close.
no. But for somebody that's never seen a Predator movie before,
Right.
and this was their first
If this
one
was their
ever,
first introduction?
I think they did.
Yeah,
I think they
absolutely.
would've. And I don't know how they would feel going back and watching Predator after.
I wonder if they'd how many people would get through after seeing this movie.
Yeah.
And then maybe seeing 1 and saying, "Oh, okay, that's really really good," and then going to 2 and I love 2.
Yeah.
But for the how
People
much
are divided on two, though. I've noticed.
it's for me. Predators is like Aliens, right? You did the horror movie, so now you go action, fucking soldiers, all that. You did the soldiers. You got to go old, like broken cop.
I'm too old for this shit.
Danny Glover, like using his wits and his street smart to try to beat the Predator. I feel like it makes the most sense. I love that.
I do too. But I do think it's having rewatched it recently. It's goofy. Like there's a lot of it I don't need.
Yeah.
I need everything in Predator. I needed everything in this one. But in terms of Predator 2 and everything that followed, there was a lot in those movies I didn't need. I loved Danny Glover. I didn't need all the extra stuff with the police, in the police office and the service records. I love Gary Busey in it, but it's good, but there's just a lot of stuff that you could have taken out of it that I don't care. I want to see the Predator in it. I didn't care enough about the characters.
He comes face to face with the Predator enough times that it takes way too long for them to finally actually fight.
Right. However, the ending to Predator 2 is great. I think that's a lot of fun, and I love how they tied that in with the gun at the end, which I thought was awesome. So, no, if I would watch Prey first, Predator, and then Predator 2, that's a pretty solid trilogy.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned. You could watch it in any order, but 1, 2, and then Prey. Do it that way.
Because it is a prequel. So
yeah. Prequels you can watch at any time, right? You can put it in the middle, like Temple of Doom and Indiana Jones, and screw people up even further.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe I need to see it again because I watched Predator a couple of times recently, and I hadn't seen Predator in a while. I forgot how much I love that movie.
It's awesome,
and even like the characters are so they're so believable as this elite. Like Billy is an excellent tracker. He knows, and which I thought was a great. I don't know if it's homage to Billy or not in Prey. Like, they're not fooled by his camouflage. They know something is there. They have an idea of what's going on.
Yeah.
I love that about these characters. And you have that in Predator. You even have it with Bill Duke's character, where he's in the trees. Only they don't know he can see infrared.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm going to sneak up on him. Great idea.
Is that when he's like crouched down and
He's
Carl
crawling
Weathers is there?
Carl Weathers is like, you go around and then we'll flank him. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, he can see you guys no matter where you are. But not knowing what the Predator is capable of, like they know exactly what they're doing. It's a great idea. Just the Predator's too good. I would have loved to find out like how close Billy came to killing him or what.
Yeah, I feel I can't.
That scene was cut off way too.
I feel like that was
scene always
for time.
bothered me. Yeah.
I honestly think that was meant to go on a little longer, and it was cut for running time.
So maybe this is like that Billy fight we never got.
It is. I was reading the IMDb thing, and Trachtenberg, who wrote and directed, or at least directed, said that he saw that scene in the first Predator movie where he's on the waterfall, and it just cuts, and you don't know what his fate was. And him being Native American, he said, "I wanted to see what happened. What if he's an expert tracker? Let's make a movie out of that."
Yeah.
And that's what happened.
Oh, that's great then.
Yeah.
That's
so this is
one
kind
I
of your
worry about.
kind of your Billy story.
There
Even
you
like
go.
Pancho. Pancho's a great character. I always forget how much I like him. I always wish he had lived.
Pancho, you got time to
I
duck?
wish Pancho had lived.
Yeah.
But
he came close.
They're such a skilled group. Yeah.
Yeah.
Having watched them both so recently, obviously I've been watching Predator my whole life, and I've only just started watching Prey.
Well, even I know we're talking more Predator than Prey. I'm sorry, but even the way they end Predator, when you have shots of, with the exception of Arnold, for whatever reason, they're all looking at the camera, smiling. Like they know you and
oh my
you
god,
know
that's one of the
them.
best film endings ever.
Yeah,
I wish
Shane
more
Black
people
is
would do
reading
that.
Sergeant Rock. He's reading the Sergeant
They're
Rock
just, like,
comic book.
smiling. I love that. ending. I love that.
The girl who
credit scene.
Yeah, who survives, by the way. I remember somebody saying, this is what Prey is good because the girl actually survives in this one. I'm like, well,
she did in the first one.
She did in the second one. She did in the first. She
Yeah,
held
wasn't
her
it
own better
Maria
than anybody
Conchita
else.
Alonso
In the second one.
Yeah.
In the first one, she made it to the end
she
with
lives
Arnold.
too.
Yeah.
And
then the girl in Alien versus Predator, I can't remember her name.
Sanaa Lathan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird one. They kind of team up though.
Yeah.
Those
but-
movies stink.
Yeah, they're not very good at all.
They stink.
Yeah.
I saw.
I thought
Predat-
Requiem was better.
So I never
Even though I
even
couldn't see it.
bothered. I never bothered.
It's
because I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, they didn't bring anybody back from the last movie.
Oh, you
Like,
know what's good? The aliens are in modern day Earth, and then you've got the face huggers. They're crawling through the woods of. It's a cool scene. But for whatever reason, it was filmed incredibly dark, and the biggest criticism was you could not see anything.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of came out of nowhere.
So
kind of like this movie.
Prey,
came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
No, and you guys are right. I think they put this on Hulu because they thought, well, Predator it's kind of a mixed thing. We'll just see what happens. And you're right. I don't think they prepared for the success of it.
The previous movie ends on a cliffhanger, and you're like, oh, this could be kind of cool.
That's right. They
They get the suit, and like they're getting ready for some kind of invasion.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my suit for killing predators, and then nothing.
I was kind of hoping it would be an alien queen. I'm not going to lie. As much as I didn't like the other movie, I thought the package was going to be either an alien embryo or... how cool would that be?
Yeah,
oh, my God. Cool. They're going to try this again. Maybe they'll do it right, but no.
No.
Can't have everything. Nope. But you got your Billy movie with Prey, and it's awesome. Absolutely.
Yeah. And Trachtenberg, the director, wanted this movie to be a surprise. He was filming this in secret, working on this for like 4 years. And then it got leaked, and he was all disappointed that,
Yeah, I saw the trailer on...
like only a month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, there's a new Predator movie coming out. I
Yeah.
want to see that.
Yeah.
Even if it's garbage.
Yeah.
It's the fucking Predator.
And the weird thing was they were saying it was coming out on Disney, and I was like, really? And then it went to Hulu. I was like, oh, well, that makes more sense, but... would have been funny to see a Predator movie on Disney itself, Disney Plus.
Oh, yeah, that would have been hilarious. There's probably a cut. Maybe there'll be a cut for it.
Yeah, right after Baymax.
Yeah.
Watch Prey.
It's 12 and a half minutes long.
It's just her and the dog walking through the woods. It's all the shots of her and the dog.
And the Predator cloaked. That's it. You see nothing.
That dog was awesome.
Dude, that dog is like so famous now. And people are like, where's the dog?
Yeah,
what happened to the dog?
Yeah.
Because it was rescued and put in the film. And
yep. They said it had never acted in a film before.
Did a good job.
Right?
Yeah.
It's not
I don't know what people are thinking. Like, they set the dog on fire when the movie was done. Like, what do you think happened to the dog? I'm sure the dog is fine.
Dog's living it up.
He's living his best life.
He's a movie dog now.
Yeah, he's not eating Alpo anymore.
No, he's getting all the pepperoni.
Fancy sausages and and Crystal. People in
they drive me crazy, man.
It's a strong thing.
Just people in general.
People just drive me crazy in general. That's why he does a podcast.
I know, right?
I really like the way they balance the technology really well, I think. Because it's like advanced, but not too advanced.
Right.
Like
he was like a stripped down.
Yeah, no armor. He's got the red dots, but it's shooting the metals.
The spikes.
That are like heat seekers, though.
Yeah.
He's got that shield. Dude, I would have loved to have seen that shield years ago.
Right.
Best net in the game, Mark.
Yeah.
Best net
I thought of you too.
That's
net
right.
kills.
Earth.
I forgot all about that.
Turn that guy into chunks, man.
That net is no joke. Yeah, that weaponry is awesome. And just seeing him like moving up and up and up. Like you see like the rabbit eats the thing, the snake eats the rabbit. He's like, oh, okay, this is the toughest thing. And the snake knows it's there because the snake can sense it. He kills that shit and he's like, okay, this isn't the toughest thing. Then the wolf comes out. He's like, oh, the wolf, this is the tough. Nope, he's fucked him up. Then he fights a fucking bear.
He finds the bear.
Dude, he fights a bear. That was so awesome. And like the CGI is good. It's good. You can in certain points you're like, oh, that's not a bear.
Yeah.
But
it's
whatever.
watchable. Yeah,
whatever. It's fine. And she's watching from like a beaver dam.
Yeah.
And he fights a bear. I was like, this is
when
so
she's
much
running
fun.
away from the bear though, that's good stuff too.
Oh, great scene. And she jumps into the water and like, yeah.
I don't like bears. Bears and alligators, man. They can come up on land.
I want no part of bears.
I want no part of a bear.
Bears can climb trees, man.
That's right. Yeah,
they'll come into your home.
You're not safe from a bear.
They'll fuck you up.
Yeah, they'll come
and then they'll steal your shit.
Yeah, and they'll drink all your fucking soda.
That's right.
Yeah, they'll come over and drink all your beer.
Come home, they're wearing your clothes.
Yeah, jerks.
They jump out of the closet like a goddamn magic show.
Surprise! To be fair, as humans, we made the first move, though. Goldilocks snuck into there.
Oh, yeah, she started it all.
And the Bears have been on a revenge kick ever since. You talk about Disney, but Prey is kind of like a Disney movie in the first half with the girl trying to prove to everybody she's more than what they see her as. It's a classic trope in a lot of Disney characters. It's Pocahontas, Mulan, Belle.
Yep.
Ariel. I was going to say
Brave.
Little Mermaid, Brave.
Jasmine.
Awesome movie.
Moana.
Jasmine had nothing to prove. She
was trying to prove stuff. She wanted to be the queen. She wanted to rule the world.
No, she didn't want any of that. She didn't want any of those
poor.
royal trappings.
Oh, that's right.
She wanted to hang out with the poor people.
Yeah, she wanted to hang out with the common
Yeah.
folk.
She was slumming it.
Yeah.
Yep.
I respect her more for that.
There you go.
She wants to be part of your world, Tito.
Yeah.
That's right. That's true. I didn't think about that. It's very Disney.
It's totally, it is a Disney story. And then it just gets, amped up to 11 with a lot of gore and satisfying kills.
Yeah.
All the things we Predator
Really good
fans
kills.
love.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Great kills.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lot of limbs getting chopped off, too.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
Yep.
Very cool.
The action is so much fun, even from the brother's really, really good. When he's on the horse, he gets the spear, he stabs him with the spear.
Yeah.
And that's what the best Predator movies do. They don't leave a lot of time for talking. You can get a sense of what a character is with a few lines of dialogue and then load it up with action, take a breather, learn about another character, which is something the other Predator movies didn't do, especially in the first Alien versus Predator. They had 5-6 humans on a team.
Yeah.
We had to learn every traumatic situation. Nobody cares. We're here to see the alien and the Predator. No one cares about the humans in this at all.
Yeah.
Certainly not enough to, we're not going to feel bad for you when you die. We don't care. You're expendable. You're here to get us to the place to watch the alien and the Predator fight.
That's it. You're just a plot device.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And even the other Predator films, again, Predator 2, it's cool. Danny Glover's awesome, but everybody else, I don't really care about that much. Maybe Bill Paxton.
And they all go down. Yeah, I like.
Although I
he
did like
goes
that
out
part.
with
He doesn't kill what's her name because she's pregnant. That was.
Oh,
that was
yeah.
cool. Yeah.
That's right.
And that's what makes
kill
the
her.
Predator awesome. He is he is the quintessential fair game supervillain.
He's got a
He's
code.
not even a villain, really,
kind
is
of,
he?
but not really. Like he is brutal in his approach, and he spares the kid in part 2. He spares Anna in part 1.
Want some candy?
But,
Does he though? Because
Arnold kicks the gun out of her hand and is like, "Leave the guns alone. He's not going to attack you with that."
Yeah, no, but in part 2 with the kid, it looks like he's about to shoot him, but the parents call him away.
Yeah, but he's still like,
I
what's
think
that
he's
going to
thinking of
stop him
killing
from like?
a little annoying kid.
No, I
Get
think
out
he's
of
just
my-
kind of like, yeah, this guy's no threat. I'm just going to move on. He's a smaller version of them.
Maybe it's because I'm a dad now, so
I want to kill them. So, he's got
Thinking with dad
it
brain.
has that in it, but then it also has this like crazy brutality where sometimes it's just like, dude, this game isn't fair, man. You're invisible and you have fucking heat-seeking missiles. Come on. I appreciate the attempt at and even AVP doesn't kill the Wayland character because he's got a bad heart, which is kind of cool. It's like, okay, it's like you're okay, but you're still like, this isn't fair. Where I feel
He's
like even
kinda
in
for
this
a fair
movie,
fight.
it isn't necessarily fair as much as his technology is kind of scaled back. It still comes off, and it always has to come kind of down to like a more scaled back approach, right? Because the minigun doesn't work, right? In the first one, Arnold has to go back and fucking make spears that blow up in the traps and shit like that. In this movie, it's just so perfectly done. Like it's not too advanced. He's not too advanced. He still has the skull. He's got the skull helmet, which I guess is a homage to
the ghost
Predators.
thing. Yeah. Yes.
And
it was
from the planet, it's like one of those creatures.
That
is
ghost
a
creature
skull.
thing they called it. Yeah.
Which you don't see it do anything in that movie.
No, not really.
It's one of the skulls from it, which I like. I will say, I really like the original look of the Predator. I don't like the face of this one. I don't like that long face with the big eyeballs, which is kind of similar to the Predators, like in the Predators movie.
Robert Rodriguez.
Yeah, like
one,
the bigger ones.
Yeah.
I don't like that look. I like that more human kind of.
Had more human-like expressions. You could tell when it was pissed off or feeling remorse. Or this one, you're right. This one's kind of more your standard one-faced thing.
But it's feral, right? So it's this more scaled back kind of animalistic version of the Predator. And and seeing the lore, after seeing this movie, I've been watching the movies, and I'm like, I'm interested in Predator lore. And I actually figured out what they were called. That I'd never Yancha.
Really?
I'd never the race is the Yancha.
That's a great name. Yancha.
and just each predator being a different type of predator, and them combining human DNA. I think a lot of this happened in like the comic books and the video games and stuff like that. But that whole idea of them kind of combining. If that's a feral predator, then when you get to Arnold, they're more advanced, and maybe they have combined some human DNA into their system to kind of and this one doesn't speak at all. It can't repeat words or say anything.
No, it's repeating animal noises, right? Isn't it? It's repeating the growls that it hears from the, what is that? The mountain lion?
Yes,
the bear and everything, which I
because they were calling it the lion.
Yeah.
You had to go fight the lion.
I thought it was great. I thought that was a great idea too. It's like, oh yeah, it doesn't. It's mimicking what it hears first,
right?
So. And that's really cool when you think about when you go back and you watch the first one. You can look at it and tie it back to the prequel with how much this thing really advanced. Like, you could have a lot of fun with this, intentionally or unintentional. They connected, like you said, they created a great lore that fans can go and compare and look at, like, tie-ins, which are probably really cool.
Yeah,
I would have to go and I would have to do that again because I watched Predator before Prey recently. I'll have to do that.
Yeah, it was fun noticing those things, the homages to 1 to 2. I like that they scrapped AVP, which is what, that first Halloween did, which I liked. They scrapped all that other shit.
Yeah.
And started fresh.
Yep.
I like that idea of just pretending that
never happened.
AVP it didn't happen, and this is where we are, and maybe we can start over and try that again with somebody newer. And you can really tell. I feel like this is happening a lot more where, like, the people who are remaking these movies or attempting to remake or do something or reboot are like fans. Like, they're fans of the genre or the subject matter, the franchise, and they just want to see something cool.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he gave everyone. He gave us something really, really cool,
which you really weren't getting in the early 2000s.
No.
He was directed by people who I don't think ever saw a Predator film in their life. Same with Freddy versus Jason. They got a guy that didn't like horror movies, and
it's the same dude, isn't it?
Ronnie Yu? No, I don't think so.
It wasn't the same dude that did AVP?
I don't think so. You can check it out. But Ronnie Yu was not a slasher fan, nor was he a fan of that kind of film. So you can see that because it's in the work. It's in Freddy versus Jason. Whether you love it because it's a goofy movie or not, it's an awful movie. It's a terrible Freddy and a terrible Jason film.
Yeah.
Because you can just see plainly it's made by somebody that's never watched any of those movies and never had an appreciation for either franchise, really, or any character, except Freddy, because it was New Line. So, of course, he's going to get the spotlight.
Oh, no, it was Paul W.S. Anderson.
Oh, of course.
There you go.
But now, I would, if we can get some fans to go and revisit that, I would see that. I'd like if somebody could come along like they did with Prey and say, this is what I want to see Freddy and Jason do, I'd be all for it.
You know what stinks for both franchises is like almost too little, too late. Like when you were like I don't know, that movie, if both those movies had come out in like 99, it would have been like perfect. Right? But you're waiting till like the 2000s and like that fan base has gotten older.
Yeah.
And they're excited, but it's like you're trying to incorporate.
But they're also more jaded.
Right. Yeah. These newer styles of filmmaking into like Freddy Krueger doesn't do fucking kung fu in the real world. It just, no.
And Jason is not the Frankenstein monster.
Right. It's just not it.
He does more.
And the alien was like...
And he doesn't have a fear of water. Where the fuck did that come from? He spends half of his time in the goddamn lake. Jesus.
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
He got soft. He's allergic to peanut butter, too.
Yeah, bullshit.
But even like AVP is like, the Predators are these big fucking monsters. It's like, nah, man, I like my Predator like sleek, like a fucking like trained.
Lean and mean.
Right, not this tank with a missile on its shoulder.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This dude is a tracker. He's out. He's surveying his area. He's legitimately tracking his prey and kind of not playing it with it, but observing it and making sure the move he's going to make is the right move.
So do you think what they would have to do if they were to reboot Freddy versus Jason, basically do what Prey did and just keep it simple? Prey is a relatively simple film. It's not overblown with characters and plot devices and arcs. It's a simple story. It's a classic story. And it works because it's not just overstuffed. It's not bloated with a lot of shit.
No,
it's just
You know what's tricky is I feel like
I'll bet you could if you dialed it back down.
Jason has to kill things, but Jason doesn't speak, so it's all right. So if he doesn't, then it's not the end of the world. He could. Freddy speaks, and he has to have banter with his.
That's his thing.
With his prey, for it to be interesting. I would almost think might be cool if like the whole movie. And I don't know how you could do this. Is if Jason was asleep and Freddy was in his head the whole movie.
That's the way you would do it.
Yeah.
And there are no kids, and it's I don't know. Freud maybe is in his head too. Like I don't know. It's this weird like think piece.
Pick up after where Jason X left off because he's back in the lake, and Freddy's fucking with him in his dream. Yeah. That's all you need. That's all you needed. You don't need anything else. Yeah. And if you want to throw a little candy for the diehard fans, do what they were originally going to do and have Pinhead show up in the end and bring them both to hell.
Oh, that would have been.
And that would have ended the whole thing.
Been cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then they continue their fight in hell because one can't kill the other.
No.
So what else are you going to do? You're going to get a more powerful being to bring them somewhere.
They just battle for eternity.
Yeah. Exactly. That would have been perfect. I think the guys who were involved in Blade had a shot at it at one point.
Oh, yeah?
I think they were the one that pitched that story or an idea like
that.
That.
Goyer?
And it was awesome.
Yeah, he did
David
the first
Goyer?
couple of. I think he wrote all the Blades.
I think he did.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah.
Maybe
I
it was.
Guillermo, I don't think Guillermo
I'm
del
not
Toro
sure.
wrote 2. I think he just directed it, but I think David S. Goyer wrote all 3.
Yeah. Well, either way, keep it simple. That's what we want to go back to. We've seen everything. We've seen the grand and special effects. We've got all the big budget stuff. We have the Marvel universe. We have all the blockbusters. You know, maybe dialing it back. And I don't want this to sound insulting when I say this, but Prey does that. It dials it back. It's a relatively just classic good versus evil. Good versus evil.
Yeah.
Good guy.
It dials
bad
it
guy
back,
movie.
but it certainly doesn't numb it down.
No, it doesn't numb it down, but it keeps you focused on what you need to focus, and there are no distractions. And that's what I think. If you're going to reboot these franchises, you need to do that, you know, and that's the way to go.
Yep.
That's me.
Yeah, definitely. You have that. It's great because you get that intro with her family and and then she doesn't come back again till the very end of the movie.
Right.
And I think there a scene, I think, with her mother kind of wondering what's going on with her. But besides that, it's her, and you're just focused on her, and you're not even thinking about anything else.
I think so, because doesn't something come back to the village and she's wondering what happened to her?
Oh, one of the guys does.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah,
one of the guys goes back, and she's wondering about her daughter.
Yes.
But even then, it's just like those guys get taken out. They all put up really good fights. The brother puts up a really good fight.
Yeah.
And there's really interesting, and it deals with these really interesting ideas of like, what is the predator and what are they as the Comanche? Like, they kill to live off. They use every part of everything they kill.
Yeah.
Like nothing is wasted.
No.
Right. So they come up, and what's funny is like they come up on the buffalo.
Right.
And you're like, damn, that predator, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
He killed all of them. And then you're like, no, it was a bunch of French assholes.
Yeah.
Who just skinned them and then wasted them.
Yeah.
And, and you know, they get dispatched, but with their technology, which are the fucking blunderbusters or whatever, even the predator,
flintlock.
the
flintlock guns.
The predator kills, but the predator, the only reference we have of him eating is like he goes to the meat markets in part 2.
Yeah.
That's where he feeds, but there's no, and he likes to skin people, but you don't know why and just leave him hanging.
Yeah.
And you never see what happens to the skin.
He's bringing them back to the rest of the people. Rest of his.
He's bringing them back home.
His group.
The people
He's bringing them
skins.
back to
They
the
got
hunters.
Egger
who
suits.
show up in
They're gonna make clothes.
Yeah.
They're gonna wear Egger suits.
Egger suits.
Egger, your skin is hanging off your
Bring
body
me
like
sugar and water.
hanging off your bones. Egger.
Egger.
But yeah, that balance of like the predator has one thing that it's looking for, the toughest, baddest thing on this world to hunt, and it wastes it. Well, but the balance
something
of
that
them.
he thinks is worthy of his time.
Yeah,
and
right.
effort.
Right, like he's got to go back home planet and say this is what I killed, and then compare that to every other predator who's been to other planets. And like, that's all you got, that wolf?
Yeah,
I gotta-
exactly.
I gotta xenomorph.
Yeah.
This thing has
Imagine if he
6
stopped at the
arms.
rabbit. If he didn't see a snake
Yeah, he
after
killed
that,
the
or a
spider,
wolf,
and he
or a
was like,
bear.
all right, cool.
Hey guys, check
You're
this
coming
out.
with me. That's what you
Look
brought?
at that. Another
Scott,
predator.
Are you kidding me? That's what you got, Scott?
Scott
A
the
fucking
predator.
rabbit?
His name is Scott.
That's what you got? A goddamn rabbit, Scott?
Look at Dave over there. He brought a raincoat.
Yeah,
Dave got a raincoat, Scott. What did you get? That thing's tiny. What are we gonna do with it? Can't do anything with it. Look what
Can't
we
wear
can do.
that skull on your
Can't
head.
do that. A little puppet show, Scott.
And it's one of those things they always give you just a little bit about the Predator.
Yeah. That's all you need.
You don't know too much. It's one of those things that like I like how they do it, and I always want to know more. I want to know why they skin him and hang it upside down. And sometimes they just take the skull and the vertebrae and clean it and then display it. Like that stuff.
I think
but we'll never.
It's a generous act on the Predator for the rest of the life on that planet to eat. That's what I think. He leaves it for the less defenseless. Yeah, because what's the top predator in the first one? It's man. It's Arnold and his troops, right? But there's wild boar, there's lions, tigers, bears, oh mine in there. They feast on flesh. The predator's probably like, here, this is on me, boys.
Dude, that's a great take.
I don't know. Yeah.
I love that idea.
He's probably doing that.
Yeah, like, right. I hunted it. You guys can feast on whatever.
Now, why he's doing it in L.A. in part 2, I have no idea. I think he's just showing off at that point. Oh, you have dreadlocks? I have dreadlocks. Can you do this?
I'll skin you.
King Louis? No, King. I always say King Louis.
It is King something, though.
Willie? King Willie. King Willie.
The head of the Jamaicans.
The other side. That movie's so...
I miss that guy. Why don't they have that guy? Jamaican guy who throws bones? He's not in any movie.
No, you can't anymore.
Yeah, they should. Do it anyways. What are they? Better to ask for forgiveness than to ask for permission. Right?
Wow, there you go.
Just fucking do it, man. I love that trope. I'll apologize later.
Do you want me to do it? You're looking at me. Do you want
I want somebody to do it, though. I love that character.
It's better to ask forgiveness than to ask permission.
Yeah.
Most everything's better with dreadlocks anyway.
That's it.
Yeah.
It's a good look. I think it's looking for you.
Ask the Predator. He'll tell you. Ask Scott. Scott will tell you.
Scott the Predator.
He loves his dreadlocks.
I got a buddy. Because that's how he sounds in Predator form. Hey, guys. I got a buddy.
I'm fearful of a sequel for this movie.
Yeah,
it's so good.
This one was so good.
Yeah, like it could turn to shit.
I don't,
because now they know what they got. It could turn to shit,
and I don't want it to. This, they have a sequel. It's Predator and Predator. You don't need it anymore. It's got its sequel.
I would like another shot at like those Ridley Scott fucking movies, man. Jesus, they were like 5 hours long. The Prometheus and Alien Covenant.
Yeah,
I would like to see somebody take another shot at Alien, maybe, but not that.
Again,
not those.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, it was so
those
confusing.
movies went way overboard in plot and characters,
very
and
convoluted
subplots. Exactly,
nothing made sense.
Just go back to a group of people and an alien or a bunch of aliens.
Yeah.
Throw in a queen if you want. Dean doesn't like the queen, so just ignore the queen.
Yeah, but then you don't get away from her, you bitch. You don't get that line without a queen. You don't get the fucking mech suit.
You don't need it. Sigourney Weaver, get another line. Find another actor, or find another actor. Get another line.
The scene when the airlock opens up and she steps out in that mech suit is like iconic.
I love it.
It's amazing.
Well, I love when Bishop gets off the ship and then all of a sudden the damn tail
torn in
comes
half.
off.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Great scene.
Queen takes Bishop.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
That's good.
All right, so closing thoughts, real quick. Wrap it up.
Yeah, and I loved it. I'm gonna watch it a third time, probably a fourth and fifth, and so on and so on. I thought it was great.
Where does it stand with you in the hierarchy?
I'm gonna rank it up there with the first one.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
I gotta rewatch the second one. The second one I think I've only seen maybe once or twice.
Okay.
So I really can't weigh in on that one because that was so many years ago that I saw that. I remember not hating it. But the details that you guys are just talking about tonight, I'm like, holy shit, I really got to rewatch this movie because I don't remember half the stuff that you were just talking about. So yeah, no, this one was definitely up there with the first one. I don't know if I could say it was better, but it was definitely very close, if not neck and neck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is it the nostalgia? Do you feel like it's the nostalgia?
Partly.
Yeah.
No, I think partly.
Yeah.
I think partly
I think
the
that's
nostalgia.
what it is for me.
Yeah, but I still think Predator is just a solid film and just stands the test of time as being a great movie.
Yeah.
We look back at a lot of things with nostalgia through nostalgia glasses or whatever. I don't think Predator's one of them. I think it's a solid film and it transcends from being a genre film to just a great movie because it incorporates not only an alien, but it's got it's got the mission movies, guys on a mission, whichever everybody likes. It's got the action in it, and so I don't know. I still think it's number one, but this is a close 1B, or I think it is up there. I think I had a great time watching this movie. I knew I was going to like it, but it was a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
And I love the strong female lead thing. I'm not one of these MCU
Because like when you think of the first one,
morons.
like you've got Schwarzenegger, you've got Jesse the Body, and you've got Carl Weathers and everybody else in it. That movie is just like the screen is just sprayed with testosterone.
Totally.
You know,
and the way they fight is all muscle.
Absolutely.
They go at
and
it
this
really
one,
with all
this
muscle
one is
until the end.
so totally
Yeah.
not. But it still holds its own
Right.
up to that one. It's just a great little movie.
But you know what's great? It doesn't stop. It doesn't wink at the audience.
No.
It doesn't pat itself on the
No,
back at any
not at all.
moment saying, "Hey, look what we're doing." You know, it's just a great story, and with a very just credible, awesome leading lady.
Yep.
And
Agreed.
right up there with and
Native
I'll
American
probably get in
Aubrey
trouble
Plaza.
for saying this. Native American
Aubrey Plaza. That's what she looked like to me.
She was great. She was right up there with Linda Hamilton, Ripley. Sigourney Weaver, excuse me, for me, just as an awesome addition to some truly awesome female action heroes.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
what they definitely are.
Yep.
Which is weird. You don't think when I think Sigourney Weaver, I don't think action hero, but yeah.
Well, she is.
And as
Yeah.
Ripley,
Just
she's
got to
a
watch
fucking-
Aliens.
Yeah,
She's
I
badass.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a
Especially in part 2.
oh,
But same
she's-
with Linda Hamilton.
Get away
like,
from her, you bitch.
Linda Hamilton in
fucking
part
awesome.
1
Yeah.
is a waitress. She's got kids
Yeah.
dumping ice cream in her apron. But by part 2, man.
Yeah, I would like to see Terminator 1.5 and see what the fuck she's doing in like Guatemala.
Right?
To become this fucking badass.
with Rico?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
like guns training and
Uncle Rico?
getting super cut.
Is it Rico? Is that the name, or am I
don't
just
remember.
racist?
Maybe the dude that they go back to
Yeah.
his house in Is it Mexico they go?
No, Enrique. It's Enrique. Yeah, not Rico. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was close.
Want to see me throw this gun over that mountain?
Tina, come get your lunch, you fat cow.
Uncle Bob. Okay.
The time machine doesn't work. I could have told you that.
Forgot to put in the crystals.
He's icing his balls.
So, yeah, we're all in agreement, obviously.
Oh,
I
yeah,
know Derek liked this movie. But all right, so yeah, check it out. Thumbs up from all of us. I
Yeah,
hate saying
yeah,
please see this
absolutely.
movie. It's
Siskel and
fantastic.
Ebert, yeah.
It's a very fun, exciting, interesting film. Mm-hmm. It really is.
Yeah.
And many of you, and I know a couple of people who do think this is the best Predator film ever, and you might
Really?
be one of them. So be
Dude,
ready for a surprise.
So
man.
this is the last movie to do this to me was Creed. Where I saw Creed and I was like, damn,
Derek
do I like
likes
this
Creed,
movie
too.
better than
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
original?
I gotta watch Creed. He's got those on his food.
Yeah, he's
And
got them all.
And I saw Rocky in my 20s. I was like, oh, this is a phenomenal movie. And then I saw Creed and I was like, damn, is this movie better than the original? That's how I feel about this movie.
Wow,
But I
nice.
have that, like,
Respect.
again, that nostalgia for
Yeah.
that original film that's
Yeah.
just like, well, this doesn't exist without that. So
Yeah.
by default, it, unfortunately, I feel
That's
like
a good way of putting
cannot
it.
be
Yeah.
better.
Right.
Because it can't exist
Without
unless
it. Yeah.
the
The foundation that it was built on.
Right.
Yeah.
And we
That's
love
a
it
good-
because
that's
of the homages, especially you like the homage
Yeah, the
with the
callbacks.
gun,
Yep.
the homage with the lines that Arnold spoke.
Yep.
You know, like
Dutch.
as fans, we
Yeah.
love that stuff of the
Yeah.
original.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Where a new audience is just like, oh, this is kind of cool. What's up with that gun?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of the
Yeah.
gun? But like, I know, I'm just like, oh my
Yeah.
god, Predator 2.
And
This guy saw Predator 2.
you guys were talking about a sequel, but the credit scene where they're doing like that kind of animated like the cave
the ships
paintings on
coming.
it.
Right, yeah.
And the last scene shows like more Predator ships coming out of the sky. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So it might be a setup for a sequel.
Dude, a war
Let's hope it's
would
good.
be awesome.
That would be
Yeah.
cool.
Like, they land in the middle of the fucking British Revolution.
Oh,
That
can
would
you
be
imagine?
It's 1776, and
Yep.
the
Yep.
colonies are fighting the British, and that Predators show up.
That's right.
Yeah.
Then they have to
Like-
go up against Mel Gibson, the Patriot.
Yeah. Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh shit, yeah. But they're all singing and dancing about it. 1776.
Yeah. Well, damn. Now I hope they do make a sequel, and it's the fucking Revolutionary War.
Yeah, but only if it's that.
only
and,
if it's
and nothing
yeah.
else.
Only if yeah.
And, I don't want them coming in and checking out the Sistine Chapel or anything like that. No, that would just not work. Geek flag. What's making our geek flags fly? What do we got? Anything, Brian?
All right. I'm gonna say I kind of discovered the show. Like last week, I had gone up to Canada on a little vacation. I discovered the show while I was up there. It's actually a Canadian show, but I didn't watch it while I was up there. I actually discovered it through a weird way. It was I went down a YouTube rabbit hole. There's a channel called It Was a Shit Show about like, have you heard of this? It's like half-hour videos about like how the making of certain movies were. Like the one I was watching, it might have been Back to the Future, and they go into all the before Michael J. Fox came on, how it was. What's his name there?
Eric Stoltz.
Eric Stoltz and all the behind the scenes bullshit with him and Crispin Glover, how he basically needed his own handler because he was a handful and blah blah blah. During one of the videos, he did a cutaway because he used the phrase "to be sure," and he did this cutaway to this scene of a show that I had never seen before, where they're all making fun of the phrase "to be sure." And I'm like, well, what was that? Because that looked funny. So I discovered that it was actually from a show called Letterkenny.
Oh, I've heard of this show.
Which it's like 10 seasons.
Is it on Netflix?
It's on Hulu.
Okay.
Again, it's on Hulu.
Okay.
The only way I can describe it is it's like a Canadian It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Okay. Yeah.
It's very funny. The way they speak, though, they're a bunch of hicks that live on a farm, though. And the way they speak, though, I equate it to kind of like Kevin Smith's like writing in the original Clerks movie, where everybody's got like a really quick wit, and everybody's like kind of a little smarter than they should be for what they're doing.
So like a Kevin Williamson script.
Kind of. So I've been going down this rabbit hole with this Letterkenny. I'm already into like season 4.
I have had people recommend this show to me.
It's funny. It's worth a look. I'm gonna warn you though. I had to watch like the first season with subtitles.
Oh, because
of they really goof on the accent, so they really play up the accents, but they speak so fast. So a lot of and there's a lot of clever wordplay too, which I like. And it's funny. It's funny. One of the reasons I watch it because I'm watching the scene and one of the main characters. I thought it was that guy Tyler Labine from
Tucker and Dale.
Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And in other stuff, the Devil show that Reaper.
Great show.
Yes,
great show.
So I thought it was him. I'm like, oh, is Tyler Labine in the show? It turns out it's not. It's just another guy that looks like him. And that's one of the reasons why I fell down this rabbit hole and why I'm still watching it now a week later. And I'll probably continue watching it until I devour all 10 seasons.
There you go. Awesome.
Yeah. So that's my
what's
geek
making
flag.
it
So
fly.
I encourage everybody to check out Letterkenny.
Cool.
Again, target to the party, but
Yeah.
get
Better
on
late
board.
than
Those
ever.
are always the best because then you have so much you can catch up on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Watch it.
Okay.
All right.
Check it out. You heard it here first. Well, you didn't hear it here first. Many of you probably have seen it, but Brian says go check it out.
If you haven't.
Yep.
If you haven't already.
For sure. I was getting I was like longing for some because I feel like I've just been so sci-fi, fantasy, comics. And I was like, I need to watch some old shit. And I got to this like Tupac movie spree. I watched like Juice and Above the Rim.
Wow.
And I was just like, I need to watch some of these movies to remind me of my childhood.
All
I
right.
could kind of cleanse my palate a bit.
You've been hanging out with us geeks too
Yeah,
long.
Right,
no,
yeah.
I was like,
yeah.
all
I got to watch the stank off.
Yeah.
I was like, all I watch are these movies. I need to. There's so many movies. I gotta. Let me watch something else I haven't seen in a long time.
I thought you were going to say Alligator 2, man.
No,
Yeah.
God, no.
Oh, really?
No.
So I started watching a bunch
Tupac's
of old
in
shit
it.
White Man Can't Jump, and then it's just like, well,
They
let
turned
me
him
watch
into two
White Man
parts.
Oh,
Can't
that's a great
Jump or
movie.
like
I
New Jack
love
City.
White Man.
Or
Did you watch New Jack City?
I'm going to.
Good.
I watched The Last Boy Scout recently. Also,
I
I was
love
like,
that
I need to
movie.
get, old school Tito on. But Mike Freeman, I'm gonna give Mike Freeman a shout out because he definitely recommended this show. It's so fucking interesting. Called The Rehearsal, and it's on HBO. And essentially, it is this guy who, let's say, you have to confess something to someone, and you're afraid to do it.
Huh.
You tell this guy, and he says, "All right, let's rehearse what's going to happen." He creates an exact replica of the venue you're going to confess this thing to.
Oh, that's interesting.
He hires an actor to meet the person you're going to confess, learn something about them, and portray them in the rehearsal going up to the actual event where you're going to confess. And then you rehearse that event over and over again, working out every possible scenario so that nothing is a surprise for you. And then the moment of truth happens, and hopefully you will be able to, based on everything you have done up until this point, be able to, live up to the moment. There's an episode where there's like a rehearsal on the rehearsal.
Wow.
Like he wants
How
to
meta.
It's insane. He hires actors. He needs actors for the rehearsal, so he goes to hire these actors, and as he's speaking to them, he thinks to himself, I don't feel like that went well. So he hires another group of actors that look just like the previous group and hires a guy to play him and then redoes the initial meeting with the first group of actors. And he takes the place of one of the actors, and he's trying to figure out if the job he did doing that class was a good enough job or there's something he should fix.
Jesus.
And then it turns into this deep dive where like he becomes one of the actors. He convinces the actor to move out, and he moves into the actor's apartment. And then the guy he hired to play him then convinces him to move out of his apartment.
This show
and move into another
way
apartment.
Too smart for me.
Oh my God.
Too smart. I don't think.
But
I can
they're like
handle
30-minute episodes.
Oh my God! They cram all that into 30 minutes.
Amazing! It's amazing.
This is
Wow.
this is for smart people.
It's like 5 episodes. The first episode's 45 minutes. The rest are like 30 minutes.
Okay.
But that first episode really like, you're like, oh my God, this is interesting.
Wow.
And then it just fucking over the top. Check it out, The Rehearsal.
All right.
I didn't make it. I'm not getting paid for this.
I didn't make
It's fucking. And see Above the Rim and
Freeman's
Juice.
getting paid for it.
And watch Above the Rim
See
and
anything
Juice.
Tupac is in.
See Last Boy Scout too.
See
if
Gridlock,
you
all that
haven't.
shit.
New
Last Boy
Jack.
Scout, New Jack City, watch them all. Tupac's not on those last two. But you know Wesley is
Poetic
fucking-
Justice. Oh,
Poetic
no.
Justice.
Poetic
It's a terrible
Justice.
movie.
It's a terrible movie.
movie.
See it anyway.
See it anyways.
Old Tito, old school Tito recommends you see all of these. All right, so I got a couple here. The first one I watched I watched this with my family. The Bad Guys.
Oh yeah, Quinn
Oh,
watched
that
it yesterday. I watched
CGI
a little.
Yeah.
I watched a
Good?
little bit of it with her yesterday.
I love this movie.
What's it on?
It's on
Paramount.
Paramount or
Paramount.
Peacock?
Oh,
Paramount.
no, maybe it is
Is it
Peacock.
Peacock?
Peacock. You're right.
It's one of those, and I'm not super. I've kind of had enough of these CGI animated movies, but mostly from Pixar.
Yeah.
Because you know my feelings about Pixar.
Yes, we
but
do.
DreamWorks, man, I'll take the Pepsi challenge with them being
Dude,
the better
DreamWorks
studio.
got hits. I hate Shrek, but like the
I hate
Madagascar
Shrek, too.
movies.
Yeah, the
Madagascar.
How to Tame Your Dragon.
Fun, the How to Train Your Dragon movies
And
are awesome.
This
Yeah.
movie is just fun. You've got all the main baddies from classic stories. You've got the big bad wolf played by Sam Rockwell. You got
Sam Rockwell.
Jungle
Yeah.
Book. Well, you got a snake.
Yeah.
You got a spider.
Yep.
You've got Mark Maron as the snake.
That's
who I
right.
really like.
Yeah.
Mark Maron and my boy Craig Robinson.
Yep.
He finally
as
got some
Shark.
work.
He
as
did.
Shark, yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing actual work.
I bet he made more off the game
The
commercial
guy from the
than
IT
doing that
crowd?
movie.
You just keep telling yourself. The guy from the IT
Yeah,
crowd.
Richard Ayoade, I
Yep.
think is
Oh,
his
I
name.
love that guy.
Yeah,
The
he's
guy that
awesome.
plays Moss. He
He's
plays what?
awesome.
Mr. Marmalade or Mr. Marmalade? or something?
Marmalade. Yeah,
Yeah.
He's an adorable little, the ultimate good guy.
Yeah.
It is just a fun movie, and you know what? It doesn't stop to tear your heart out at any moment, like another production company that will remain nameless. I was
Pixar.
not traumatized. I was not traumatized by this movie, nor did I want to cry or curl up in a fetal position. I had a lot of fun just watching it.
Then it failed.
No, it achieved. I had fun, which is something animated movies are kind of getting away
Have
from.
fun on your own time.
No,
not on
I don't. I
Disney's
want to
time.
have fun. Not
Not
on
on
Disney's
Pixar's
I'm
time.
going on DreamWorks time, baby. Pixar can. Yeah, I can't say what Pixar can do.
Yeah. Make a lot of money.
Being a Christian woman, I can't say it. As Annie M says. My next thing. So our buddy Derek Rook, he came down and we hung out not too long ago. And when he comes down, we watch horror movies that I've never seen, which is rare in and of itself. But he likes to go for the Grindhouse or the old school Italian. I'm not going to recommend these because I know neither of you guys are going to like them. But I'm going to say for all you out there, if you are a fan of Italian horror or Grindhouse films, the two movies you need to see are Nightmare and A Damaged Brain. In America, it just came out as Nightmare, 1981.
That was a smart move.
It was, yeah. The other title is kind of odd. It's basically a Halloween movie.
Oh, yeah?
In fact, Derek said if you go back and watch Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, it works better if you look at it as a remake of this film, Nightmare.
Oh, okay. All right.
Check it out. It's extremely gory. It is perverted. It's a Grindhouse movie. It's everything you want. So if you like that kind of film, check it out. The other one is The New York Ripper. It's a Fulci film, Italian horror. It's a slasher movie. It goes over the top. It's basically softcore porn. Both of these are available on Tubi. By
That's
the
my
way,
least favorite of the porns. By
yeah,
the way, the soft
you're
porn.
not. I don't think you're
That's
gonna
my
dig
least
it.
favorite
Tito.
of the porns.
But
It's on Tubi and there's still nudity.
Yeah.
Oh.
Give it. Yeah. See,
We've had
Tito's
experience
interested
with
now.
You got to deal with commercials though. They break it off like right in the middle.
Oh, it
The
doesn't
last
matter.
time I saw a
It-
Tubi
it's
movie
worth
that
it.
had nudity, they took the nudity out of it. So
Really?
I can't.
yeah.
I don't know if kids are listening. I can't go into it. Anyway, if you're a fan of that genre, just check these two movies out. And as always, thank you, Derek Rook, for introducing me to more outlandish gore and horror, which I love. And Derek, if you're Derek Raynor, Three Geeky Dad Derek, listen to the theme from the New York Ripper. Just go on YouTube, even if you don't want to watch the movie. Find any scene from the New York Ripper and listen to the music, because I guarantee you, Shirley Walker, who composed all the music for Batman the Animated Series, stole the Two-Face theme. And Derek, you know what I'm talking about. Stole the Two-Face theme from this film, amazingly enough. So go do that now. I don't care unless you're driving. Then go
don't do it.
home and say hello to the family, and then go do it. And lastly, In Search of Tomorrow, the sci-fi documentary by the guys who did In Search of Darkness 1 and 2. I saw that documentary, and it's great.
There's a third one of that coming out, right?
There's a
In
third In Search
3?
of Darkness.
There's like a
Nice.
I follow Elvira on Instagram because she's funny and still
She's
super
the
hot,
best.
and she's like 100 years old.
She's the best.
She
She's a hot.
and there's like an
170s,
Elvira
man.
version, I guess, coming out of In Search of Darkness 3.
Yeah, there's still so much to talk about from that decade in horror films. It's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And each documentary is like 4 hours long.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Well, they're probably going to do the same thing with the insert. Was it In Search of Tomorrow?
Yeah, because they've
Yeah.
glossed over a lot.
Yeah.
So what's In Search of Tomorrow about?
It's
80s sci-fi.
80s sci-fi.
Oh, I missed that.
But it's
Yeah.
done in the same
It's
style
spaced
as
out.
In Search of Darkness.
Right.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It's
and
awesome.
And it's a 4-hour bad
It's
boy.
a
It
4-hour
is.
bad
Yeah.
boy, and
Yeah.
and it's structured the same way. They have little excerpts of.
Is that on Shudder?
No, I actually ordered a copy.
Yeah.
Mine has not come in yet. Mark
And
got a
Jay
copy of it
Rubber
from
Chicken
Jay
let
from
me,
Rubber Chicken.
borrow it. So
okay.
we checked it out, and it's good.
Yeah.
If you can find it, definitely rent it. It's worth a rent.
How much of it did I watch?
You missed like the last 10 minutes.
Oh, that's it?
You were up to 88. You made it up to 88. And then
My wife had to leave.
she had to go. She was
Sometimes wife's got to leave, man.
Yeah.
4 hours.
Yeah. Any
So,
documentary you
she
can walk
made it-
away from, right?
Yeah, right. She made it 3 hours and 50 minutes.
She did.
You give her a firm handshake
That's
and you
it.
say, "Let's
Totally.
go." All right, we're going home.
Yeah.
Do you remember Tito and I made it through the whole In Search of Darkness though in one watch?
You know what's
Remember
crazy
that?
is that at the end I was like, that didn't actually feel like 4 hours long.
Yeah.
Neither did
And
the
then I
one we
got
were
into my
watching.
car and I drove home and I was like, I hope I can stay awake for this.
Yeah, it's like 2 a.m. What the hell am I doing?
All right, guys, thank you very much for listening to the show. If you want to listen to any past episodes or, do a prequel thing, see where we were before, where we are now, all our episodes before tonight are technically prequels.
That's
You
true.
can even go all the way back to number 1 and listen to us and listen to our predictions and how wrong we are on half of them. It's a lot of fun
Listen
to do.
to the poor audio quality.
Mhm. Yeah, listen to back when we were only 3 and Tito was
That's
just a
right.
guest.
Yep.
How
Tito was just a
times have
twinkle in
changed.
Mark's eye.
That's it.
That was dirtier than that was meant to sound. Hey, Brian, where can they find all that?
Hey, everybody, you can find us at www.3gdpodcast.com. That's www.
The number 3.
gdpodcast.com, and there you will find, like Mark said, all of our past episodes, along with our email. All of our social media links are there, bios about yours truly, Mark and Derek and Tito, and also our Ko-fi page. We have a link to our Ko-fi page, and we encourage everybody to please check that out. And if you would like to make a small donation, it goes to help keeping this podcast going. So thank you very much, as always, for listening.
Couldn't put it better myself.
Thank you.
But I'll try. Thank you very much for listening to us. For 3 Geeky Dads, I am Mark.
I'm Brian.
I'm Tito.
I'm Leslie Stahl.
Keep watching the skies, because the predators, they are coming. Take care. So the only dad joke I could think of was somebody saying, "Guys, the wheels fell off my wagon," and the answer was, "That's a real drag," which doesn't even make that much sense.
But it'll work.
But that's all I got.
I'll take it.
Okay, cool. So, Brian, I have you saying, "Guys, the wheel fell off my wagon."
Okay.
And Tito and I saying, "That's a real drag."
That's a real drag.
That's a real drag.
Let me. Me. That's a real drag.
Do you want some
Tito,
lemon?
are we all
Tiger face,
saying it? We're fucked. Oh, did I laugh?
I have a terrible memory.
Me too. Because I don't
People call and I go to my boss and I'm like, somebody from the state police is on the phone. Oh, what's their name? I don't remember. But they said they're from the state police. Do you want me to go back and ask them their name? He's like, no, just I'll
God
answer.
damn it, Tito.
I'm like, I just talked to them 7 seconds ago.
You remember only important things.
Abby something.
Abby normal. I'm going to start with a joke.
All right.
Okay, whenever you're ready, Brian.
Hey guys, the wheel just fell off my wagon.
That's
a real drag.
All right.
Yeah, that works. Yeah. Do you feel comfortable with that?
I do.
Good. Look, he's proud
I do,
of
because I was saying it in my head and then I was like, that's not the line.
You did kind of say it like a question.
That's a real drag.
That's a real drag?
That's not the line. I'm going to do it anyways.
All right. We're going with it.
Yeah, it's...
One take Tito.
That's it. I'll get it.
It goes over the top. It's basically softcore porn.
That's my least favorite of the porns. By
Yeah,
the way, the softcore.
you're not. I don't think you're
Is
gonna
my
dig
least
it.
favorite
Tito.
of the porns.
But
It's on Tubi and there's still nudity.
yeah,
Oh,